Ridley Scott's Blade Runner is awe-inspiring. It is considered to be among the best movies, and I'm tempted to agree. It sports countless iconic scenes and characters. This is the definitive depiction of a future megalopolis. The opening scene hooks me right away with the amazing visuals and the swelling music. You know right away that you're in for something special. It is rare that a movie so deeply immerses you in its world. Everything that appears on the screen, even if it's just something in the background, feels like it is a product of this world, like time and thought were put into it. This is one of those films where every time you watch it, you'll notice things that you never did before. And there's a magic to everything you see being real, being a practical effect. Someone had to build this. The biggest risk in movies like this is that it will come off as being over engineered or bizarre for the sake of being bizarre. But whenever I notice things like that, this is so well done that I find myself forgiving it. Blade Runner is adapted from the Philip K. Dick novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Blade Runner is a much cooler name, but the title of the book has much more meaning. I think that as an adaptation, it does an excellent job. A lot of these older sci fi stories are clumsy, they're a bit on the nose, but they show their age, and so an update is not an unwelcome thing most of the time. Blade Runner takes place in the distant future of 2019. Harrison Ford plays Rick Deckard, who is a retired Blade Runner. It's a special kind of cop that hunts replicants. Replicants are artificial people that have been genetically engineered to perform different jobs. They're used for labor as mankind expands to other planets, but they have a nasty habit of rebelling, of developing emotions and personalities, and so special measures have to be taken. They are given an artificial lifespan of 4 years, and it's illegal for them to be on the Earth. Deckard is forced out of retirement when a group of replicants arrive on Earth. They're trying to find a way to lengthen their lives. They're approaching the end of that 4 year lifespan, and they believe that the Tyrell Corporation that created them has the answer. On top of all of this, the head of the Tyrell Corporation introduces Deckard to a woman named Rachel, who discovers that she's a replicant herself. And so now she has to deal with this revelation, and he has to deal with the feelings that he has for her. Deckard is the sort of Harrison Ford character that we've all come to know and love. He's the perfect balance of a tough guy, a badass, while also being very flawed, being a human being. Deckard is jumpy, says that he gets the shakes. He has clearly been through a lot prior to the story. He probably outright has PTSD from the trauma of the dangerous work and killing beings that might actually be people. He's also a bit of a rascal. He gives the police a lot of lip when they come to pick him up. He takes his food with him, just eating his noodles in the police car while being transported to the station. There is a subplot that he might, in fact, be a replicant himself. This is controversial. Some people like it, others think it's stupid. Personally, I'm not a fan. It also distracts away from the other ways that Gaff trolls him. Sean Young as Rachel is one of the many instantly recognizable things about this film. And then, of course, there's the late great Rutger Hauer as the leader of the replicants. This kind of exuberant, charismatic villain is very difficult to pull off without it becoming over the top and cringy. Rutger Hauer's performance manages to straddle that line and it becomes very memorable. He, of course, gets the amazing Tears in the Rain speech. There's a lot of other great dialogue in this film. It's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does? Before that great monologue, we get the horror of being hunted by an artificial being, which is something that we might all experience sometime in the near future. There's also the iconic Voight-Comp test, which, as far as sci-fi scenes go, stands right up there with things like the Gom Jabbar from Dune. One of the interesting things about that machine is that it has a bellows on it for some unknown reason. It makes it appear to breathe. This gives it a unique look, and it highlights the blending of the real and the artificial. Another good detail when it comes to the Voight-Comp scenes is that Rachel is quick and decisive with her responses, while Leon was slow, defensive, and asked counter questions. I noticed that most of the questions involved the killing of animals, which goes back to the original story, which was very focused on people caring for animals as a social norm. The city is a character in itself. There's a lot of old architecture that the technology is built on top of. It makes it feel like it's been lived in, like it's a real place. The city is very crowded. There's a lot of people in the background walking by, getting in the way, and they all have their own distinctive looks. You really get the feeling that they all have their own stories. And of course, there's ads everywhere. It's very dystopian. You can't escape the advertisements. But unfortunately, while they give the film part of its distinctive look, they also date it very badly. There's dead or near dead brands like Budweiser and Atari. Another thing that dates the film is this is a weird version of the future where they have advanced Polaroids. It's not just what we see in the city, it's the hints of the worlds that we don't see that fascinate me. The replicants and their jobs give us hints of these crazy, ultra cruel, ultra violent wars that are being fought out there on these wild colony worlds. This is a slow movie. It really takes its time. Deckard doesn't confront his first replicant till about halfway through. There's really not a lot of action. It's more focused on the investigation, on exploring ideas of existence and of personhood. The length and the pacing can make it a bit of a sit. Then there's the issue of this being one of those films that has a whole bunch of different versions. I think there's 7 different cuts. I watched the final cut for this, which I have mixed feelings about because it does look really good, but a lot of the effects simply aren't meant to be viewed in that kind of quality, and so sometimes you can tell that they're models. Blade Runner, along with William Gibson's novel Neuromancer, would be the founding documents of a subgenre of sci fi called cyberpunk. Cyberpunk never really became mainstream. It was always somewhere in the background, influencing more popular things and showing itself on occasion with things like The Matrix. Japanese manga and anime would run with it, creating a lot of great stuff. And of course, there's Cyberpunk 2077, which after a rough start has gained a big following. That, of course, has a lot of tributes, a lot of references to Blade Runner in it. So, what did you think about Blade Runner? Was it like a religious experience for you? This wild journey with all this amazing stuff? Or did you just think it was plain boring?